today's video, we are going to play the game Bigger and Better, except we're going to be doing it with yarn, so stay tuned. Hey there! In today's video, we're going to play the game Bigger and Better, except we're going to do it with yarn, and I'm super excited about this experiment. But my only rule was I have to use the same exact pattern, and I wanted to show you what the difference was between the 3 different yarns with the same pattern. So I'll introduce you to the yarns, which are introducing contestant number 1, Chenille Home Slim by Loops and Threads. This is the color Agave. Remember, with Amigurumi, you want to use hook size that is 2 down from what it says. Actually, this one calls for an 8mm hook. I am going to follow the pattern on this one and use a 5mm hook. The second contestant is by Yarnspirations Blanket, and this is the color Lichen. It calls for an 8mm hook, but I'm also going to use a smaller hook on this as well. The third contestant is also by Yarnspirations Blanket Extra. This is a whopping 15mm hook. So I went ahead and purchased a 12mm hook. I've never used a 12 before, so it should be good times. So if you get them all together, they are almost the same exact color. This Leggy Froggy pattern is by Knotjadedco. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the pattern link in the description below. It's one of my favorites. It's a quick, no-sew, easy pattern, super fun. People love frogs. Every time I buy yarn, the person behind the counter is asking me, what are you gonna do with your yarn? And when I told her this time that I was going to be making frogs, she says, I love frogs. So I'm excited for this competition of Bigger and Better using the same pattern with different yarns. With blanket yarn, I'm learning I can do some fun things with it. At first, I was thinking it was going to be difficult, but now that I got the hang of it, it's working really well. Use a little bit bigger yarn hook, and it's fantastic. I love it. Hey, as you can see, it's a completely different day. Are you ready to see what they look like? The baby frog, here is the medium frog, and here's the mamba jumbo frog. Oh, with each of these, I learned something different. With this one, I used the hook that it called for, which was a 5mm hook. It asked for 10mm eyes. So the next one, with a Bernat blanket yarn, so I used a 6.5mm hook for this beautiful little guy. I used 12mm eyes for him, and for this goofy, ginormous frog, if I sit back you can see it a little bit better, I used a 12mm hook and 20mm eyes. I have never used this large of hook or eyes before, and it was absolutely fun. So if I was to crochet this again, I think I would go larger on the hook size, just because it was a bit of a struggle to get the yarn around. But the 20mm eyes, if you're not sure what size eyes that you have, you can take your ruler and you can measure. So I have this handy dandy 10-cent ruler that was left over from my kids who are out of elementary school and don't need a ruler anymore. So I use it. So you know you have an inches side and a millimeter side. So I just take the eyes and I measure them up against here. And that tells you what size eyes that you have. And if sometimes you don't even know and you don't care, that's fine too. Doesn't matter. It's your creation. Thank you so much for watching my video today. If you have any suggestions of anything that you would like to see in the future on my channel, go ahead and mention them in the comments. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic day. Okay, let's try that again.